hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse. You may be arrested
Let me see. We are going live. Let me check everything. Okay, can you guys hear it now?
I could hear you.
Wait.
There we go. I got sound.
Hold on, I'm gonna check the show, which is probably gonna create a feedback loop.
I think everyone's jealous that I'm on.
I don't hear any sound.
Oh, you didn't hear me to say none of that shit?
No. And then, like burn down a couple buildings.
Yeah, I'm not even fully.
I'm down with that, dude.
Against, yeah, I was gonna say I'm not even like
Anarchy these days isn't real anarchy.
Yeah, I'm not even against none of that shit. It is what it is. Just shit like that happens every fucking day. Like wow,
Yeah.
they fucking blasted a limo. Whoop did he shit? Who gives a fuck? Like the thing is that like
And then,
when
like burn down a couple buildings.
That's I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not even.
I'm down with that, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say reactionary, short-term revolution shit that's only gonna last for like 20 minutes, as opposed to a real sustainable, a solid foundation as a whole with the deep inner workings of the conscious collective also involved as well. So that was just my main point.
Well, there's been a lot of focus like on what the revolution is and the fact that we need a revolution, but nobody's really talking about what we want to replace the system with.
That question comes up to me a lot, and I've had a lot of discussions on like what to replace the system with. The only thing I got to say on that subject is that I've been always asking people like what would you do if you could completely replace society? Now a lot of people have told me, completely fucking utopian, no money involved in this and that. I'm not sure if that's going to work until like humanity as a whole like completely has to relearn, just the way that we even we even do stuff.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. You're saying exactly what it is. You know what? And I'm gonna say something, and some people might not even like it, but I don't give a fuck because this is the truth. This is my truth actually. So what I'm stating is that guess what? Let's pretend. Let's just imagine. Let's use our imagination and pretend real quick. Let's say, what if tomorrow, the very next day, tomorrow, Trump is gone, Zionism agenda is gone. The chemtrails are gone. We have clean food. Everything's organic. There's no more medication. The system is completely gone, and we have a fucking awesome, amazing, beautiful fucking life to live with new energy, amazing technology, everything used in the right way to better a species. Right? Okay. Now, guess what?
It sounds like a dream. I don't know about you guys, but
Well,
yeah, I'm thinking utopia.
So check out. Guess what? Here's the thing. If we were given that tomorrow, people would not even be ready for that shit. It would be overkill for them because they have not done any inner growth. And that right there, to go back to I don't know I think it was Loki. I couldn't remember who it was, but about where the real revolution is. That's the fucking revolution. Like usually people think it's like some corny shit, like oh the revolution starts with you, and they don't really get it. But
No, it's like you gotta grow inside as well.
That's what that's actually pretty true.
Yeah.
That's actually
it's like this. It's
pretty
like,
true how they said that the revolution is going to start with you, though.
Yeah.
Because to actually change something, you have to change yourself. You have to change the way that you perceive life, which my older brother told me. You know what I mean? So, and no, I do not believe in let's smash buildings and burn them down. No, because those abandoned building
Losing you, brother.
can feed and people. So instead of causing.
Right.
I gotta go from a different aspect here, okay? Because I'm anti-fascist to the extreme. I mean, I believe in direct action. Out here on the West Coast, we are getting hit really, really hard from abuse from cops, and it's not just cops; it's government in general. We just like across the rest of the United States, we've got people getting murdered, unarmed people, citizens by police. There's a point where newly awakened people, or just in general, you have to take that extra step to get your point across. And I mean, I'm not saying that destruction of private property is okay in all aspects, but it's getting to the point where the people don't know how to express themselves anymore to get that point across. Like you see, like you've seen in Oregon, Baker's, or what was it, Berkeley.
Right. Because we also have to show them that we ain't passive and we ain't going out like no bitches.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but there's oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, when I seen the Berkeley thing on TV, it literally almost brought tears to my eyes, because after years of activism on the streets, protesting all this stuff, you finally see a large group of people rise up, and then what we want as activists is for enough people to see what we're fighting for, you know. In the case of Berkeley, yeah, it might have been because of that Nazi guy, which I will fucking smash a Nazi if given half a chance. I mean, I will. I mean, ask James. I will.
Let's hang the
I will fucking
Nazis.
smash one. I will smash one all day long. I mean,
May I say hi, George Lennox?
Well, as far as Berkeley goes, I mean, I totally agree with you. I'm the more militant anarchist, anti-fascist, and I support black bloc tactics. But I'll be the first to say what actually went a little bit too far. The way that some people were attacked. That's not good for any of us. The way that those people were attacked. I mean, it's giving them ammo.
Start working together.
Here's the thing. Let me just say this. There's pros and cons. Here's one of the cons that I noticed with this shit. Is anyone familiar with like how arms race? How like one makes the other one strong? Yeah.
Oh yes.
That's kind of what we're dealing with. Like the more we push back harder and fuck shit up, they start cranking up more of their shit to the point where these motherfuckers are gonna come out looking like fucking like some futuristic alien astronaut motherfuckers loaded with fucking Gatling guns on their shoulders and fucking, I don't know, lightsaber fucking nunchuck. Whatever the fuck. And it's like, yo, we're just here to say, you know, fuck the system and like, you know, like
shit.
Coming at us like Mad Max or some shit, man.
And that's what it's getting to. That's what it's getting to.
Yeah. Have you ever watched? There's like a bunch of videos on revolutionary tactics, and it's, you know, a lot of the conclusions it came to on a lot of the stuff I've been going over is like, if you don't get into the mind on the other side, or at least kind of like, the man behind the trigger, you know, we need to get into those guys' minds as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I always like the analogy I like to use is Batman and Joker, because Batman, you know, he's able, as fucked up and twisted as the Joker is, and how cynical and like a maniac the Joker is, Batman's able to beat him because he's actually crazier than the fucking Joker.
So
yeah, but I won't become a Nazi to beat the Nazis. I'm just saying. No, I won't become a Nazi to beat the Nazis. But I mean, I completely understand that whole philosophy. Out here in Arizona, I do gotta say.
Hey, Rose, I'm not telling you to go be fucking
I'm just saying, there's a line I draw as a moral fag. I will not be a Nazi.
I'm telling you to go be Batman. All right.
So
yeah.
So while we're on this subject, let's talk about ethics and protests. Let's talk about do's and don'ts. Let's talk about a little bit about black bloc tactics, and let's talk about passive aggressive tactics.
All right. Like realistically,
I'll go last.
Protest, like honestly, the police already have their response in mind, what they're gonna do, and they have like chain of violence they're going to use, what they're going to escalate. And the way I look at it is, whatever they're willing to throw at you, you should be willing to throw right back at them.
Agreed.
I agree.
Martial law is coming.
Agreed.
I come from a mindset
Already here, bud.
I come from a mindset that, we shouldn't wait for them to go on the offensive. We shouldn't hold our protests and wait for them to decide that they've had enough, that it's over. We need to, like we did in D.C., man, we showed up and we did what we did before the police even came near us. The police had to come and find us and shut down what we were doing. We were already on the offensive, and that already had people in the mindset. That's why that charge on the police line was so successful. I mean, we just blasted right through those guys because everybody was hyped up. We were already on the aggressive, and that saved like 300 people from going to jail right there and getting this bogus ass rioting charge that they were throwing on journalism and medics and shit.
But we can do better.
Well,
we can do a lot better.
Honestly, we need to be pushing the whole mindset of de-arresting one another at protests.
Yes,
don't let them kidnap your fucking allies.
You
grab your person, you take them back. You grab your person, take them back. And
also,
I swear, if someone's getting arrested and motherfuckers surround and pulling their fucking phones out, you gotta be fucking shitting me.
Yeah,
what is the phone gonna do, right?
Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see videos like, hey, look, he's getting arrested while there's fucking, like, you've outnumbered the cops that are arresting, But here's the one thing that I've noticed.
I'll fucking punch a pig in the face.
Shut up. We don't need none of that.
Let me know if you.
No, but see,
no, I was gonna say the one thing that they fear and that they're not fully prepared for.
Is our organization.
It's exactly.
It's not an organization.
It's that.
Well,
no,
organization on the streets.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Of anything. Even like whether it's a peaceful protest or a tactical protest, whatever it is, when there's organization involved, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game. Because they're like, holy shit, these motherfuckers are like one organism. What the fuck?
Yeah, but
it's almost like a dance move out there. You know what I mean? Like we're all.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
If you sit and research the way other countries riot police,
peaceful protests,
do what they do.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's one thing I'm going to recommend.
Organized, and it's pretty impressive. But if we learn the way that the other countries do their stuff, our country doesn't do things that way. They're not prepared for that. So if we look a little bit into the way other countries' riot police act and actually use those tactics for ourselves, I think we could have some big wins.
Bro, you know what?
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Hand out Molotovs. I'm just saying, like, it sets a precedent.
I'm all aboard for that. I live in a Republican state, and the cops outnumber us here on the streets. So for us, we go into a situation. We've been using event pages and stuff, but we found that now they're preparing more based on our event location. So we're having a huge issue here on the West Coast, preparing for events. The parking situations, getting people there.
We have evidence that Standing Rock Police, Cannonball Police, were actually preparing for this protest over a year before it happened.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Ordering tear gas grenades and stuff like that. We've seen, we have proof.
Well,
we've seen
down in Baton Rouge,
stuff that they've ordered, and it was in preparation for something that hadn't even happened yet. So
down in Baton Rouge, they're doing the same thing because not Dakota Access, Energy Transfer is about to run a pipeline through southern Louisiana, and they know we're gearing up to fight this pipeline, and they're already preparing to come out and protect the pipeline. They've straight up said it in the meeting that I attended last month. Like, they're doing the same thing, and the pipeline hasn't even been approved yet, but the police are already getting ready for the protest.
Because they know what's going to happen if they fuck with our land, bro.
It ends down here in the North Florida where I'm at. Well, I'm actually South Florida, but
This is actually a different pipeline from the Sable Trail. This one's called Bayou Bridge. It's going from I think it's maybe 50 miles in Texas and then coming down to the Gulf of Louisiana, and then I guess they're just going to shoot it out into the ocean.
Yeah.
Literally, because that's what they do.
yeah, they just, You know, it's so ridiculous, bro, I swear, because,
you want to create like a big ass...
There was a quick rap I did about the no dapple bullshit in the pipeline, and there's a line in there where I'm like, Elon Musk got Nikola Tesla rolling in his grave because this motherfucker is trying to bring in quote unquote new energies, new technology, new whatever the fuck under the Tesla name, and he's totally not tapping into no electromagnetic ionosphere, no free energy or nothing. He's just another pawn of these of this cabal and this elite. And the fact that everyone has to sit by and watch these people get plowed off the areas and all their land and get these old, outdated, primitive fossil fuel, whatever the fuck, pipelines laid down. And meanwhile, back to, I think it was maybe, I don't know, Loki said it maybe, about what's going on in other countries. Like, they're so we're in last place. It's ridiculous. We're in last place. We're we are like the dunce cap in the corner, in the fucking back of the classroom. Like, we don't know nothing. We're idiots. And bro, it's so bad. And that's personally one of the reasons why I wanted to actually go to London this year for the Million Mass March. You know what I'm saying? To experience that shit on that level, and really be in the middle of all that shit to see what it's like over there and get the culture shock. Because what we deal over here is fucking we're so soft. We're so fucking, as a whole in America, bro. We're soft. I don't know what it is, man.
It's not just that.
Everybody wants to be violent and chaotic and shit like that. It's just people just want to be left alone, man. And we can't be left alone with all this fucking stupid elite crap.
Well, it's not just that. If you look at the face of what the revolution is shaping into, the American Revolution is going to take place at the exact same time a civil war is, for people who are basically ignorant of the issues that are going on. If you look at the stuff that's going on around the Shia LaBeouf camera, and people are meeting up specifically to fight one another. You got racists versus anti-Trumpers, and then there are people down there just to fuck off. It really that's the state of what America's in right now, as far as how divided we are.
Right.
We need to stop the division everywhere and look at the places where we really need to start.
Because that shit is fucking amazing. Keep going, bro.
Well, speaking of the division and everything, I think we were talking about before, working on a local level, raising awareness and doing everything we can really with activism and everything on a local level. I think it's important that each of us on our local levels gets together with other groups of people, other organizations, other activists, to work together, anybody who's like-minded, because it grows your numbers, and also it does create that unity. You're building those bridges, and we're all working toward a common goal.
If you can't find one,
change too. It definitely starts in your community.
Yeah, if you can't find one, you can create one. People will come and seek you out and join up with you, and then your group will find like groups that are around through your activism. You guys will talk and get on the same page.
Are we having technical difficulties?
No, I'm not at the moment.
No, on the live stream.
All I've seen is our sound, and I'm getting a lot of notifications, buzzing, that I can't turn off.
It seems fine. The live stream's got sound and everything.
All right, so let's continue. let's keep talking about organizing real-world demonstrations and real-world efforts. I know that we're doing a lot online, remote, as far as we can, but let's keep talking about real-world things that we're doing.
All right, so like there was the big Planned Parenthood march that happened. Like it was massive where I'm at. There was a good 3,000 or more people that showed up on the Planned Parenthood side, and then there were some pro-lifers that were surrounding like the Planned Parenthood action. And all the people who were for Planned Parenthood did was walk by them. There were a couple of people in that march that got arrested. And all the liberals did was sit there with their cameras and walk by and let the police arrest people. And they got arrested. All they were doing was walking and dragging dragging the American flag on the ground. That's it. That's all they were doing.
You must be in a red state.
Right.
You don't drag the flag on the ground in a red state, sir.
I'm in Missouri right now. Like this was in St. Louis.
See, the whole abortion pro-lifer battle is really big in my state. I'm down in Mississippi, and in my city is where the only abortion clinic in the state is, and it's a major controversy, this specific one, for like the entire southeast United States. They send in anti-protesters from all over the country to this specific one. Like, it's a big target. And that's probably about the biggest events we actually have here in my city, sadly.
So let's talk a little bit about organizing protests and protest do's and don'ts. Like protest etiquette. If you don't want to be arrested, you do this. You know, you want to be safe, you do this. Stuff like that.
The biggest thing that I see is the lack of organization. Out here in the West Coast, I've seen a little bit more as far as changes that we've made that are effective. We have our local ABC chapter, Anarchist Black Cross, that we actually have been putting on Sharpie on people's arms, because when you're getting arrested in mass out here on the West Coast, people's cell phones have been confiscated by the police department and not given back. It's been really hard to get your calls out. So if people have the Anarchist Black Cross written on their arm in Sharpie, we've found that it's more effective for us. So they've been doing it out here for a while, and I've noticed that a lot of new people coming on, it gives them that security that if something happens that they'll be taken care of. Because when you go out to the streets and people see this on the media, which we all know that it's bullshit, but they don't know the dangers of it, you know. So you got to remind them when they come out, if anything happens, this is the number, you can contact us. So they know protecting them, you know what I mean?
Well, like,
and, go ahead.
There's like, if you've been to a protest, you know that if something is going down, or the police got aggressive, if you get involved in trying to de-arrest that person or something, the first thing you do is you get a green hat on it. You go get one of the legal observers to pay attention, take names down. And recently, like, we just had the big strikeout day on the 17th, and like it was an all-day protest for pretty much every reason that exists that's wrong with society today.
Yeah, we did the same thing.
We had one arrest that entire day, and it was one of the legal observers who was complying, leaving the street, going onto the sidewalk, but because his foot was on the street, they arrested him for that.
Oh, they love that move.
Yeah, but they're trying to take away that sense of security that protesters have by arresting the green hat. So what you got to realize is when you're out there, the only people you have are the people that are around you out there.
Your comrades.
Well, I'll tell you probably what should be rule number one, and it's a good follow-up for saying that too. Come with a friend. If you can't come with a friend, man, show up and make a friend. Like, use the buddy system. Like,
I was gonna say, like, a group of friends.
A group of friends is great, but like, man, at least try to have someone with you. If you got to show up and meet somebody to stick with, like, you know, find somebody that you feel safe with. Of course, you know, there's that's always a dangerous game as well. But the best
If you
option.
don't want to be targeted, don't pick somebody who is wearing an anon mask.
If you're out on the street, you know that we wear bandanas, so you know that I don't mask the protests anymore, only because out here the media swarms us. I mean, as soon as I get there, I'll have 2 or 3 news stations wanting to take stories, and I'm just not about that. You know what I mean? I'm there for a reason. I'm not there to give them a story.
The media stopped it here, but the police, when they come up and they talk to anybody, if they see somebody wearing an anon mask here, they're like, "Can you get your people under control?" And I'm like, "I don't need anybody here."
You're like, have you met Anon? Because that's not how it works.
Yeah, no. Out here they have facial recognition. They know out here they're a lot smarter and a lot more organized when it comes to stuff like that. There's an organization called Red Squad. They're counterterrorism and gang task force that actually hunts activists in the state of Arizona. So when we go out to the street, we know who they are because we've seen them before. They're at protests over and over again. So we know who to avoid. I mean, my boyfriend James, who's also on the show, everybody knows him at protests because he's like, if you add me on Facebook, I'll deny it. He screams it at him and shit. Like, I'm like, don't scream at the FBI. Just don't. He taunts them. He screams, Red Squad! He makes fun of them and stuff. But, I mean, out here, the gun laws are different, too. It's open carry. You've got KKK neo-Nazis showing up with AK-47s. So we go into a different situation. It's highly tactical. Half of us aren't even armed. They're armed more heavily than we are. So, I mean,
you guys need to change that. I promise that's a game changer. We showed up to the protest and all the actions in Flint, Michigan, and having an entire armed militia with us.
Red Squad, so James hop back on.
But I'll tell you, almost everybody in our group was armed. People were wearing, tactical ballistic vests. We were militant as fuck all over Flint, Michigan, and the police did not fuck with us. They didn't line up against us. They didn't try to play games. They left us alone.
By the poison water as well.
I've seen that for Boise Million Mask March. We have you don't have to have a permit to conceal your weapon over here, and we had a 3% escort all the way up to the Capitol. Help them. It was pretty great. He had to get out there and pretty much got right into the Capitol building with the AR-15 strapped to his back.
See, and you guys are lucky on the East Coast because on the West Coast, we do not get along with 3%ers. 3%ers out here on the West Coast, being from a patriotic family, I have nothing against the military. Please let me state that first. Out here, the 3%ers actually run with the neo-Nazis. So that makes it a little tougher for us because when we're protesting anti-fascism, we're actually protesting against the patriots. So if we could bridge that divide here, we'd be fine, but there's a lot of fascism and racism involved.
I find that so ironic.
It needs to be bridged. That's definitely something that we should be working on because I work with a lot of people that know, I don't care if you're Muslim, I'm so anti-Muslim and stuff. I don't care who you are, as long as you're working towards the same efforts for humanity.
Yep.
Towards, I got your back.
Yes, sir.
So the whole Patriot thing, we have a lot of resources as far as that goes. A lot of back.
Well, see, that's what Arizona needs to learn because right now the problem that we're having is we're in a red state, we're in a Republican state. I mean, we fought Arpaio for fucking 20 years. We need to bridge that gap because there's a lot of areas we could use it. You know what I mean?
Arizona's a big police state and a big private prison state, so you guys have a whole huge battle out there with that.
Huge fuckery. Yeah, I mean, I had no idea moving from California to here it was going to be so bad, but sorry, I'm getting high. Don't mind me. I'm just smoking a blunt.
Fuck the system.
We have a creed that we try to follow. I think pretty much anybody that's right in their mind can get behind it. You know, it might be a little bit new from some of the stuff I'm hearing, but I fully back our anonymous creed, and I back anybody else that wants to get behind it and follow it.
See, for me, the creed, when I see it, like I had mentioned earlier in chat, when I see the creed, I just know what I'm told as far as the creed came out not very long ago, only a few years ago. It didn't come out when Anonymous came out. It didn't come out it might have came out around the time Million Mass March, when Jaff started Million Mass March, but it's still new. So if you want the new bloods to follow it, I'm sure they will, but you got to remember that creed only works for that group, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, the new fags, they need to chill out because all members, or whatever you want to call it, all
Again,
of
it's starting
them.
to sound like a personal problem, babe.
No, I mean, like, they need to
The new
chill. Like,
fags-
they
the new
need
fags
to
definitely
listen. They need to learn.
Exactly. Learn how to learn.
We're all trying to get the same
learn.
fucking point across.
They can
We're all
learn
trying to
for
show the
sure,
love
but
and
I don't
make a
think that
difference
like
in
it's
the
a
world to
group
make
that
things
you're
better.
really looking for people to follow directions in that way. And if you demand that a non follows a direction, I'm going to break it 100%.
Like, I hope,
there's a difference.
we could, like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say there's a difference between, telling people this is how we do something and, showing them our ideals, teaching them about the way we think and showing them how we operate and, all this different aspect.
I just don't want to become the establishment. Like, I'm starting to get, like, I'm an old school anon. I'm starting to get old. So when a young kid, like, when I'm telling them something, they're like, nah, I don't want to fucking do it that way. I'm all like, all right, because that's exactly what I would have said it. You know what I mean? When I was just getting into it. So I can only be, I don't want to seem hypocritical in that. So if somebody wants
I
to
agree,
follow
and
or
not
listen to what I'm saying, I'm more than open to tell you what I know, but I'm also not going to be like, look, I don't know everything. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Chances are some 12-year-old has way better ideas than I do.
not everyone's the same.
There's one thing I like to stress to new fags, and they're like, it's got to be peaceful. I swear, every protest I show up wearing an Anon mask, everybody's like, this is supposed to be nonviolent. All right, I come with peaceful intentions, but that doesn't mean that I still don't have the right to self-defense.
Exactly.
Well, that's the deal.
Stand your ground.
I'm definitely nonviolent, but I am not a pacifist, and there's a difference between the two, and people get those two things very confused. There's a fine line to be drawn there, and if you're looking for pacifism, then maybe that's not the right set for you. But if you're looking for resistance by every and any means necessary, I'm on board.
Yes, sir. Civil disobedience at all costs.
Terrence, you got any updates for us at Standing Rock? From what I'm hearing, it's getting kind of hot over there. So I'd really like to hear what's going
Just
on.
a little, huh?
Oh, guys, it's a nightmare on so many levels. All right, so I'll give you guys the kind of general rundown. I don't know how many of you actually have been to Standing Rock, but at the moment, we've got a second set of roadblocks that are up. At midnight tonight, those will change from a soft roadblock to a hard out-only roadblock. So people will be able to leave, but they will not be able to come back in. That doesn't count the Sacred Zone side. We can still get in and out of camp. But as far as like the roadblocks and the roads and following those ways in, that is over. They're giving a last demand for all protesters to leave at 12 tomorrow, 12 p.m.
Last demand.
After that, it's open game. Their chances are they'll be in and trying to take the camp by 2.
Full-on warfare.
Damn.
Last demand.
Well, I mean, look, I can't they've pretty well choked out a lot of people coming in and out and all of that, and unfortunately, our media and our citizens have about a 5-minute attention span. So they've moved on to whatever the fuck Milo has to say, whatever the news, whatever insanity comes out of Trump's mouth. That's what they talk about. I mean, we can, Standing Rock's one issue, but let me tell you, Flint still doesn't have fucking free, clean water either. And
No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
You know, so unfortunately, still a lot of people go through the corporate media, through the mainstream media, and I mean it's just one long fucking commercial. It has nothing to do with news, and that's really they've went back to giving us the same media blackout that they did before. That being said, we're gonna have drones in the air all day tomorrow. We're gonna be live streaming all day tomorrow. So everything that goes down will be in the world's eye. Now, whether people are watching it at that moment will be a different story, you know. But we will keep the internet media, the social media. We were going to do everything we can to keep that going and to try to protect the other water protectors. I see it as protection.
Right, and then,
Well, if you guys,
that's the message to anybody listening, like any of you listening, awake and aware of what's going on. It's your responsibility to awaken other people. It's your responsibility. Changes happen. If you are aware of the things that are going on that are wrong and right now, and you can just talk with your family or anyone else, it's your responsibility, you know, because you can make a difference. It takes all to make a difference, and that's really what we're about here.
well, let me say this about what happened tomorrow. Terrence, if you can get me a list of everybody that's going to be going live, I can put a page together really quick, get like everything all grouped together where all the live streams can be rolling off one page.
Cool.
And we can get that thrown out and, you know, us attention as best we can, because the media is going to black it out. They're not going to talk about what.
Oh no, I think what and we'll probably get down to that here in a little bit, but I mean the Milo thing is going to take over the news for the next couple of days, and that might not be. Look, these guys are smart. They know how to use propaganda in the media, so you know that may be on purpose.
A great job of attention whoring.
Well, they know what people are caring about. Like we can look on.
Not even hidden. If you go and read about CIA operations and PSY operations and all of that, they're pretty clear on how it's done. They'll show you make something happen that seems spectacular, so you're not looking in the other direction. They're good at what they do, but it can be undone if we're ignoring it. If we're sharing the things that are important and pretty much not giving a fuck about what CNN, Fox News, NBC has to say. Because look, I can save you some time. They want to sell you Viagra. Change the
it's a special pill, they say. It's a special pill.
About every 4 hours, go to ER.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can get, if you're on the Congressional Health Plan, you can get free Viagra, but they won't cover birth control. Figure that shit out.